write a bit of language and explain your answer and justify why you're saying what you're saying, but you can't do that in MCQ. So regarding the things, I siphoned through the material, whatever syllabus was available, and I have an office also to work upon. So at night I used to make sure that consistently I'm giving it at least an hour to read the laws and refresh my memory.
That's
Regarding the subjects, since there are authorities which are changing their patterns and doing something like that, thoughts will come up to your mind that this is a new thing and how will we do it or something like that. But you have to realize that it's new because we've not encountered it yet. It's not new because we are bound to fail in that. So we have to treat it like an experience to us. Even if it does not go well, at least you know what do you not have to do.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to iExamB. And I am very delighted to have with me today Shikha Bhardwaj. She has successfully cleared the LIC exam from the legal stream. So many congratulations, Shikha.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shikha, for taking out time to talk to us today. So it's been a long journey for Shikha. Shikha, before we delve into how your journey has been for the LIC exam, could you tell a little about yourself?
Yeah, so I've actually been a law student in my graduation years. I did my BBA LLB from Indraprastha University, and after that, I started preparing for my judicial services exam. But after some point of time, when I realized that there's still a lot of time to take in that preparation, I simultaneously started preparing for other banking and insurance exams as well. So that's when I started simultaneously preparing, and I eventually cleared the General Insurance Corporation exam as an assistant manager in 2024. So I joined GIC in August 2024, and since then I was working here only. But since due to like my own reasons of having a chance of home posting and all of that, I when this notification came out for LIC, I decided to give this exam as well. So that's when I took the course as well, and I gave this exam, which took a lot of time in the recruitment exercise also. And since the pattern was very new to us, it was kind of complicated also to sit in the exam and give it only having a sort of chance or a thought that I hope it gets cleared, because the pattern was really new to me and it was like everything was going on guesswork only, and the knowledge that I had on reading the stuff. So that's how I ended up giving the exam and the interview as well. And here I am.
Great, Shikha. So, you've told in brief how LIC has been. So, we'll break it down and talk a little about a
Yeah.
few more details about this exam. So, as
Okay.
you correctly mentioned, this year they had changed the pattern a bit,
Yes.
both for the prelims and also for the mains.
Yeah.
Descriptive legal was added,
Mm.
which had a higher weightage also. While
Yeah.
descriptive English was there, it was only qualifying in nature. Uh,
Yes.
in the prelims, if I talk about, reasoning and English were the
Yeah.
counting subjects, and GA was also added. However, it only had a qualifying nature again. So there were a lot of conditions, terms and conditions, a lot of things being tested, but will they be counted, not counted? So there was a lot of changes, patterns, things that were done this time in LIC. And a
Yeah.
very interesting point, before I delve into it, this LIC for the legal stream actually had 30 vacancies, but
Yeah.
they have finally shortlisted only 16 candidates, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, which means, there was a rigor which a lot of students could not really cross. They still have 14 vacant vacancies, right?
Yeah.
Which means, one needs to really prepare well. And that's why I'm taking this opportunity to talk a little more in detail. So if you
Yes.
talk about prelims, Shikha, it was qualifying in nature. Of course, for the phase two, it is used as a basis, but within prelims also, you had three subjects, reasoning, English, and general awareness, out of which general awareness was bare minimum qualifying. It would not have really added to your cutoff for moving to phase two or the
Yes.
mains, right? So how was your approach? Were you giving daily practice were you doing, and how did you approach G as a subject which was qualifying in nature?
So basically, I know for a fact that I've practiced reasoning a lot, so I had my reasoning strong. But
Okay.
since I'd lost touch after I joined GIC, so there were not many practice sessions that I had been giving.
Mhm.
So initially, I started with practicing the reasoning part so that I get a flow of it and I know, because it's been a long time since I gave
Right.
exam,
Right.
so I'd lost the flow of it. And for the reasoning, yeah, so I practiced questions given on the tests also. And for GA, since I knew it was like qualifying in nature, so I read very selectively,
Okay.
because due to my job constraints also I did not have much time in my hands. So I read only that portion which I saw on some videos of IXAMB, also on YouTube. There are free videos that this is something you should read and this is something that can come up in the exam. And I mean, some are common points, some common topics like sports and awards and all of that, which did came also. So that's where I read selectively, and I did selective approach on GA because it was qualifying. That was the only reason. I didn't want to, I mean, give any wrong guesses and get out of the qualifying marks
Right.
also.
Right. Right.
But major practice I did on the reasoning part and the English part, because of the fact that they were the ones which were helping me qualify the exam.
Great. I think that's a very good approach also, Shikha, and because it's very important to understand the requirement of the exam rather than trying to excel everything. And
Yeah,
it's where I think, Shikha, you did a very right thing that you took calculated risks with GA because you only had to qualify it, bare minimum 50% marks. And if you
yeah,
get through, I'm assuming that because in that they were giving sectional cutoff, which is not out yet. Uh,
yeah. No,
uh,
they did have sectional cutoff,
yes,
but
yes.
since I had time constraints, I had to pick my battles wisely.
Right. Very, very good. True that you had to focus on the ones that would pull up your scores, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
once you were through, you moved to the mains, and in mains again you were tested on the some aptitude part, but majorly on the legal
Yes.
part, right? Both in the objective form and also in the descriptive form. So they also introduced the descriptive and a higher weightage. So whatever the exam marks were, they were going to increase it
Yeah, yeah,
in the overall merit list. So,
yes.
what was your approach to study for the legal subjects? What all laws would I say you focused on more or gave more attention to?
Yeah, so basically the laws like which are already in picture and which I've read over the years, that I do not focus on majorly. The
Okay.
only part where I focused on was the insurance laws, the new laws that had come up,
Mhm.
and the criminal laws which are new in picture,
Criminal laws came in, yeah.
because they are something which are very new to us. No case laws, no theoretical, no major theoretical material that was there in that part. So that's what I focused on more. On the other subjects, as I said, like I did not have time on my hands, so I took a very a cursory look on the other laws so that I can just have a memory refreshed on whether what those laws are, what the provisions are. But the main focus was on the insurance law, since I've not read insurance laws, because I'm in the reinsurance sector. So even though reinsurance and insurance are connected, but still the laws
Right,
governing both of the sectors are
right.
different. And
Yeah,
my concepts are right now clear on the reinsurance part, not the insurance part.
okay.
So I needed to refresh my memory regarding those laws also. So that's what I focused upon more, so that I could get a hold of them, and that's where my answers don't get wrong.
Mhm. Okay. And because there was descriptive, so was your approach while studying the law different for the MCQ and for the descriptive part?
Yes, yes, yes. Because in the MCQ part, we tend to get confused over two or three options. So
Right.
I had to have a pinpointed answer for the questions which were asked in a pinpointed manner. In the descriptive part, you can still write a bit of a language and explain your answer and justify why you're saying what you're saying. But you can't do that in MCQ. So regarding the things, I mean, I siphoned through the material, whatever syllabus was available, and I saw the topics that on what on what topics only the MCQs can be framed, no descriptive questions can be framed. And that's how I read the topics also. On topics which needed descriptive focus, I did read those topics in detail so that I have points to write upon. But on topics where I thought only an MCQ question can come up, I did not read that in detail. I just read the pinpointed things on which some questions can be asked and the answers can be given.
So, and how much time did you spend in trying to memorize the section numbers and case laws, if any?
That's actually a very embarrassing time because due to my office constraints also, I mean, I think not more than an hour I could give every day, but I was consistent enough to give not, I mean, at least an hour because I knew that I could not give like 5 to 6 hours in any day
Mhm.
because there are other things to take care of as well. And plus, I have an office also to work upon. So at night, I used to make sure that consistently I'm giving it at least an hour to read the laws and refresh my memory.
That's very important point because many times, while working, we have less time and it can feel very, very daunting to prepare. Uh,
Yeah.
but what you were mentioning is consistency was important, even if it was 1 hour. You were making
Yeah.
sure that I spend that time. And did you specifically study any case laws?
Actually, in the course that I took, there were handouts of case laws given. That's all I could refer to. I mean, even if I wanted to, I could not refer to any more material than that because
That was
not.
enough. Was
Yeah,
that
that was
preparation
enough.
was enough? So
Yeah,
how
that
has
was
your
enough.
experience been with the course material with the exam?
The course material is really pinpointed because I was banking on the course material only. I had no time to go through any other material available on any other website or take any other course. So I was going basically on the assumption that I'm reading this only. If questions come from this, well and good. If they don't come from this, goes on my luck. So
Okay.
questions did come on this only, and that's why the material was very pinpointed and had the exact material which is to be read in an exam, and you can do smart study from that material if you don't have time on your hands.
Okay, great. Glad to hear that it was helpful. LIC took a really long time to give results of the written exam. I think it was almost like it felt like, did we miss the result? It's been so long. There were so many other results coming on. NIACL announced, NIC
Everything, yeah,
announced, but LIC was not coming out with the result, and it must have been quite unnerving waiting for it. But finally,
yeah.
when we did get, and you saw your name in the interview list, what was your approach towards the interview?
So basically, since I've already given the interview, so I know for a fact that they will ask about the organization as well,
Yeah.
and they will ask about what is going on recently. So what I had to recollect and read again was the insurance things that were going on because we don't really get through all those updates
Yeah.
in the reinsurance sector. We read only about our department because that's what our concerns us. So I had to go through every other insurance amendment that has taken place, every other new bill coming up, every other update coming up, anything that has been brought by IRDI or LIC,
Mhm.
or and for that matter, even reading about what LIC does, how many offices it has, what functions it does, how is it different from my organization,
Mhm.
and most importantly, since I was like already working, so they were fixated on the question that why do you want to shift, and that
Yeah.
was the answer I had to prepare very very thoughtfully and firmly because on that basis my whole interview was dependent,
Yeah.
and I think I prepared on that question very thoroughly. That's why my interview lasted for 30 minutes. Otherwise, I would have been out in like 5 minutes had they not been satisfied with the answer part. So, yeah, I mean, I had a basic idea of that. And but I did start preparing only after like my mains result came up, but I could not really prepare that much because of the time constraints. But yeah, again, consistently, I was like giving at least 1 hour or something for specifically when I was close to the interview date because I had to read through all the amendments and all and go through every other subject.
I'm glad to hear that. When you say 30 minutes, that's quite a long time for an actual interview. Usually, we don't see such long interviews that take place.
Yeah,
And I'm reminded of your mock interview. I was also one of the panelists, and we were
yeah,
discussing. And at one point, we did feel that you could perform so much better, and we hope that you do because you definitely have a very, very good profile and good preparation. And so glad to hear it all went well in the actual interview,
yeah,
and you could work on those feedback given despite the fact you had very less time.
yes, yes,
So it's great, and I'm sure, Shikha, you are elated to be able to make it to LIC. And
yeah, I am.
And any advice you would like to give to future aspirants who may be giving other exams, where especially I'm asking a little more detail because LIC is one of the few exams that has descriptive part in the legal paper. We have very few exams that have descriptive, although some have started adding. SEBI has added 2 years back. They introduced descriptive writing in legal. RBI Legal has descriptive writing. Exim this year had descriptive writing. So few exams have started going towards descriptive papers in legal.
Mm.
Still, a lot of them are still MCQ focused, more MCQ focused. So, any tips that you would like to give to students, especially working ones who need to manage time for the preparation?
Yeah, I mean, I think you need to realize the fact that even though you're not able to give much time, you should give as much time as you can.
Mm.
Because there were days when I thought, then when I used to be very tired after coming back from office, and I was like, let's not give 1 hour today, let's give 2 hours tomorrow. But
Mm.
then it keeps on piling up. You start
Right.
procrastinating, and that 2 hours becomes 4 hours, 5 hours by the end of the weekend. And then at the weekend, you're like, let's see it in the next week, and let's start over or something like that. You start giving reasons to yourself. So specifically when you're preparing for an exam, you have to stop giving leverage to yourself and start being strict with your deadlines. Even if you think, I mean, it's not like I every day I took out 1 hour. Some day they were 45 minutes, some day they were 15 minutes as well. But I made sure to at least open my book and my laptop and go through something like that, so that I have at least 1 or 2 points in my mind that I read. That gave me a satisfaction that I did not let that day go to waste. I did something about that. And regarding the subjects, I mean, since there are authorities which are changing their patterns and doing something like that, thoughts will come up to your mind that this is a new thing,
Mm.
and how will we do it or something like that. But we have to realize that it's new because we've not encountered it yet. It's not new because we are bound to fail in that. So we have to treat it like an experience to us. Even if it does not go well, at least you know what do you not have to do. At least you know what points do you need to improve upon. And you should focus more on your strong areas. That's what I have done in every exam that I've given, and in the exams that I've cracked as well. I know for a fact that my English is strong, my descriptive is strong. So they were not my focus areas. But places where I know, like law, I need to read. I mean, everybody needs to read that. Every specialist candidate needs to read his specialized area. So law I need to read. GA I knew that I have to read because I cannot go without reading. So
Yeah.
there were my focus points. And the places where I know I have a strong hand, I just gave them a cursory look so that not much of my time goes there. So if you're working, even if you're not working, you have to pick up your battles wisely and see where do you have to give most of your attention to that. So consistency is very important, and realizing that which area needs to be given more focus is more important.
True. I think very nicely said. Consistency and strategizing as per your strengths and weaknesses. Understand the exam. Patterns may change, but a lot of it will still be around law. So your
Yeah,
other
obviously.
subjects you can keep reading. There will be common laws still dominating. So
Yeah,
you don't really need to worry. The patterns may change, just asking it in different aspects, but your content will more or less be remain the same. So I think consistency and strategizing as per your own strengths and weaknesses goes a long way.
yeah,
Uh, Thank you, Shikha, for those inputs. I'm sure your story will be motivating and encourage a lot of students who give up before even starting by giving reasons like, they're working, there is less time, the pattern has changed, we don't know this exam. I hope if those have been the reasons which is stopping you, at least they will not be. You'll at least give a try if you want
yeah,
if you're aiming for any particular specific job.
yeah.
The iExamB is there to help you with the content to keep it crisp and to the point for your exam preparation. Uh,
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Shikha, and wishing you all the best for a very successful and fulfilling career.
Thank you so much.